Success is a word often spoken, frequently desired, yet rarely understood in its depth. Most people carry an image of success in their minds, a vision shaped by society, peers, or fleeting desires. They see success as wealth, status, recognition, or accomplishment, but they rarely see it for what it truly is: the mastery of one's mind, energy, and persistence in alignment with purpose. The reason most people never succeed is not because life is unfair, nor because opportunities are scarce. It is because the path to success is subtle, demanding, and often invisible until one has already walked it. The first reason lies in distraction. Modern life bombards the senses. People are pulled in 1,000 directions. Social media, opinions, entertainment, obligations, and desires that are not their own. Success requires focus, a singularity of purpose that many never cultivate. Focus is not merely attention, it is the conscious investment of energy toward a chosen goal, consistently and persistently. Most people allow their energy to scatter, chasing temporary pleasures, seeking instant gratification, and measuring themselves against the illusions of others. They mistake busyness for productivity, motion for progress, and noise for action. True success demands quiet, stillness, and clarity of vision, qualities that are rare and cultivated with patience. The second reason is fear. Fear is a subtle, pervasive force. People fear failure, rejection, discomfort, and uncertainty. These fears are natural, yet when allowed to dominate, they paralyze action. Most people never succeed because they are unwilling to step beyond the known, to risk, and to endure the discomfort of growth. Success requires embracing the unknown, walking paths without guarantee, and enduring moments of isolation, doubt, and struggle. It is not glamorous, it is not instantaneous. The fearful remain in the comfort of stagnation, while the brave, those who cultivate courage and resilience, rise above the inertia of hesitation. Another reason lies in the absence of discipline. Many seek success, yet few cultivate the daily habits, routines, and structures that sustain it. Discipline is the foundation upon which all achievements are built. It is the silent consistency of practice, the repetition of effort, and the mastery of small actions over time. Without discipline, talent is wasted, ideas are forgotten, and potential remains unrealized. Most people never succeed because they overestimate inspiration and underestimate the quiet, relentless work of consistent effort. Success is a long, often unseen accumulation of small actions performed with integrity and focus, day after day. The fourth reason is attachment to results. People often define success by outcomes, money, recognition, or status. They become attached to external validation rather than internal mastery. This attachment produces anxiety, impatience, and distraction. True success arises from process over outcome, from the cultivation of excellence in action, rather than obsession with recognition. Most people never succeed because they chase results without understanding that results are a byproduct of preparation, persistence, and internal growth. The journey itself, the refinement of skill, the sharpening of character, and the mastery of energy are the true markers of success. Equally important is the inability to endure solitude. Success is rarely a social or external phenomenon in its early stages. It demands hours of practice, reflection, and focused labor without immediate validation. Most people cannot endure the silence of work, the solitude of learning, or the discipline of mastery. They seek comfort in the opinions of others, the distractions of society, or the illusion of busyness. The successful, by contrast, learn to embrace solitude. They find peace in their focus, joy in the effort, and clarity in self-reflection. The inability to endure quiet persistence is a primary reason most people never succeed. Another hidden reason lies in the misalignment of values. Many chase goals that are not truly their own, inherited dreams, societal expectations, or desires formed by comparison. Success is deeply personal and can never be achieved through imitation. To succeed, one must align with purpose, energy, and authentic desire. Most people never succeed because they pursue paths that do not resonate with their essence, exhausting energy on pursuits that ultimately leave the soul empty. True success comes not from following the crowd, but from following the inner call, the quiet whisper of purpose that resonates beyond fear, distraction, and societal expectation. The final reason, often overlooked, is the lack of emotional mastery. The mind is a battlefield. Thoughts are constant, often conflicting. Emotional turbulence, self-doubt, frustration, and impatience are natural companions of the journey to success. Most people never succeed because they allow emotions to dictate decisions, actions, and persistence. Mastery over oneself, over thoughts, emotions, and impulses is essential. The successful learn to respond rather than react, to cultivate patience rather than surrender to frustration, and to harness energy rather than dissipate it. Emotional mastery, though invisible, is the bedrock of sustainable success. Most people never succeed because they misunderstand the essence of life itself. Life is a teacher of energy, discipline, resilience, and focus. It does not reward wishful thinking, convenience, or attachment to comfort. Success is not an event, it is a process, a continuous practice, a refinement of character, and alignment with purpose. Those who fail often seek shortcuts, external approval, or immediate results. Those who succeed learn that mastery, consistency, and courage in the face of fear are the true currencies of achievement. And yet, there is hope. The path to success, though challenging, is accessible to anyone willing to embrace discipline, courage, and focus. The difference between those who fail and those who succeed is rarely talent, it is persistence. It is the cultivation of habits that refine skill. It is the quiet mastery of energy, the careful alignment with purpose, and the unshakable commitment to growth. Most people never succeed because they fear the invisible work, the hours, the solitude, the discipline, the patience. But those who endure discover that every step, every struggle, and every challenge is the teacher of resilience and mastery. True success is not defined by recognition, wealth, or status. It is defined by mastery over oneself, mastery of thoughts, actions, energy, and persistence. It is defined by the courage to face fear, the discipline to endure struggle, and the clarity to follow purpose despite distraction. Most people never succeed because they seek validation outside themselves, chase convenience over growth, and fear the labor required to refine the mind, body, and spirit. The successful, by contrast, find strength in solitude, joy in persistence, and clarity in purpose. In conclusion, the reasons most people never succeed are clear: distraction, fear, lack of discipline, attachment to results, inability to endure solitude, misalignment with purpose, and absence of emotional mastery. These are not insurmountable obstacles, but they are invisible unless recognized. Success is subtle, requiring internal alignment, persistent effort, and conscious cultivation of energy. Those who understand this, those who embrace discipline, focus, courage, and mastery, do not merely chase success, they embody it. They transform challenge into awakening, effort into refinement, and persistence into results that reflect not only achievement, but the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. The lesson is simple yet profound. Success is not found in fleeting efforts, external validation, or shortcuts. It is found in the quiet mastery of oneself, the disciplined refinement of skill, and the courageous alignment with purpose. Most people never succeed because they fail to cultivate these essentials. Those who do, however, discover a life of power, clarity, and fulfillment, a life that is the true essence of success, beyond wealth, recognition, or fame. Many people live their entire lives chasing success without ever understanding what it truly requires. Success is not simply about talent, opportunity, or luck. It is about discipline, energy, focus, and alignment, qualities that are subtle yet transformative. Most people never succeed because they misunderstand the nature of life, the demands of mastery, and the cost of true achievement. Life does not reward intention alone. It rewards execution, patience, and the mastery of self. It is not enough to try, to wish, or to desire. True success is cultivated quietly in the depths of persistence, awareness, and courage. One of the most pervasive reasons people fail is their surrender to distraction. In a world saturated with noise, social media, endless opinions, entertainment, and unceasing obligations, focus becomes a rarity. Most people allow their energy to scatter, responding to stimuli rather than directing it. The mind becomes fragmented, attention divided, and effort diluted. Success demands singularity of purpose, clarity of vision, and sustained attention over long periods. Those who fail often mistake busyness for progress, motion for achievement, and distraction for opportunity. The quiet, deliberate cultivation of energy toward one goal is the path of mastery, a path most never walk. Fear is another hidden obstacle. Most people never succeed because they fear failure, rejection, discomfort, and uncertainty. These fears are not weakness, they are natural human responses. Yet, when allowed to dominate, they paralyze, delaying action and preventing growth. Success requires risk, the willingness to step into the unknown, to endure challenges, and to confront the discomfort of growth. Most people retreat to safety, seeking comfort in stagnation, routines, and the familiar. Those who succeed cultivate courage, not as a one-time act, but as a persistent practice, an unwavering choice to act despite fear. Another reason lies in the absence of discipline. Discipline is invisible, quiet, and relentless. It is the daily practice, the repetition of small actions, and the commitment to integrity in effort. Many people overestimate talent and underestimate discipline. Talent without consistent action is wasted potential. The successful understand that success is not an event, but a process, a slow accumulation of deliberate choices, small wins, and daily refinement of skill. Most people fail because they seek inspiration over consistency, ideas over action, and shortcuts over mastery. Attachment to results is yet another barrier. People often define success by what is visible, recognition, wealth, status, or accolades. They become attached to outcomes, measuring their efforts by external validation rather than internal growth. True success arises from focusing on the process rather than the product, on mastery rather than recognition. Most people never succeed because they chase results prematurely, neglecting the work required to build the foundations upon which lasting achievement is constructed. Results are byproducts of preparation, persistence, and alignment, not guarantees of effort. Another invisible reason people fail is impatience. Growth, mastery, and transformation require time. Years, sometimes decades of careful cultivation, yet most people expect quick wins, immediate validation, or fast recognition. Life does not operate on a schedule defined by desire. It follows the principles of refinement, repetition, and natural progression. Those who cannot endure the slow, often unseen work of mastery are destined to fail. The successful understand that time is an ally and that patience is as critical as skill, strategy, or effort. Many also fail because they cannot endure solitude. Success is often a solitary journey. In the early stages, there is no audience, no validation, and little external recognition. Most people crave social approval, seek companionship in every effort, or measure their progress against others. Yet mastery requires solitude, the quiet refinement of skill, the discipline to persist without applause, and the patience to work unseen until readiness manifests results. Those who cannot embrace this solitude remain tethered to external influence, dependent upon approval rather than cultivating self-reliance. Misalignment with purpose is another fundamental reason most people fail. Many chase goals that are not truly their own, inherited dreams, societal expectations, or desires shaped by comparison. True success arises only from alignment with authentic purpose, energy, and calling. Pursuing what is not aligned with one's essence depletes energy, fragments focus, and dilutes effort. Most people never succeed because they expend their lives on pursuits that do not resonate with their inner truth. The awakened understand that mastery requires harmony between purpose, passion, and persistence, a triad that cannot be bypassed without cost. Emotional mastery, often overlooked, is another pillar of success. The mind is not passive. It is a battlefield of doubts, anxieties, and distractions. Most people allow emotions to dictate decisions, compromise consistency, and weaken resolve. Success demands the ability to respond rather than react, to remain steady amidst turbulence, and to cultivate patience, resilience, and clarity. Without emotional mastery, the path becomes chaotic, progress inconsistent, and achievements fleeting. Most people never succeed because they underestimate the subtle power of the mind and the necessity of inner equilibrium. The fear of discomfort is a silent killer of potential. Success requires enduring the uncomfortable, the physical, emotional, and mental strain of growth. It requires sacrifice, the willingness to forego immediate pleasure, and the patience to persist through difficulty. Most people retreat from discomfort, seeking the ease of familiarity and the illusion of progress. Those who succeed embrace discomfort as the crucible in which strength, resilience, and mastery are forged. They understand that comfort is often the enemy of growth, and that only by stepping into challenge can one awaken true potential. Most people never succeed because they underestimate the nature of consistency. Talent, opportunity, and inspiration are insufficient without repeated action. The accumulation of small, disciplined efforts over time creates results that appear almost magical to the untrained eye. The world often praises extraordinary achievements without recognizing the invisible hours of effort that preceded them. Success is silent, incremental, and persistent. Most people fail because they are inconsistent, impatient, or unwilling to endure the repetitive work that builds mastery. Another reason lies in the reliance on external validation. Most people seek affirmation, recognition, or approval before they commit fully. They measure their worth by the opinions of others and allow external forces to dictate their efforts. True success is independent of recognition. It is rooted in the internal drive to refine skill, cultivate energy, and fulfill purpose. The successful focus inward, cultivating self-mastery and persistence, regardless of acknowledgement or praise. Most people never succeed because they tie effort to validation rather than purpose. In essence, the reasons most people never succeed are interconnected: distraction, fear, lack of discipline, attachment to results, impatience, inability to endure solitude, misalignment with purpose, lack of emotional mastery, fear of discomfort, inconsistency, and reliance on external validation. These are not barriers imposed by life. They are patterns within the mind and energy of those who fail. Success is not about external circumstances. It is about internal cultivation. It is about mastery of focus, energy, emotion, and persistence. It is about aligning thought, action, and purpose with unwavering clarity, and yet hope remains for those willing to awaken. The path to success is simple in principle, but demanding in practice. It requires focus, discipline, courage, patience, emotional mastery, alignment with purpose, and consistency over time. It is not glamorous, visible, or easy. It is quiet, unseen, and cumulative. Yet it yields the deepest form of power: mastery over self, clarity of action, and resilience in the face of challenge. Those who cultivate these qualities do not merely chase success. They embody it, and it becomes a natural extension of their energy, presence, and purpose. The lesson is profound. Success is not about luck, circumstance, or fleeting effort. It is about cultivating the mind, mastering emotions, refining energy, embracing discomfort, and walking a path of consistent, disciplined action aligned with purpose. Most people never succeed because they neglect these essentials. Those who do cultivate them discover not only achievement, but clarity, inner strength, and the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing one is in harmony with the deepest truths of life. The path is demanding, the lessons are intense, and the mastery required is invisible to the casual observer. Yet those who endure discover a life of power, resilience, and fulfillment. They realize that success is not an external prize, but an internal state, the quiet mastery of energy, focus, courage, and alignment. Most people never succeed because they seek shortcuts, rely on external validation, and avoid the invisible, essential work of cultivation. Those who do embrace the work find themselves not only achieving, but awakening to the fullest potential of their being. A life of unshakable mastery, presence, and power. The truth about success is rarely taught. It is hidden beneath layers of societal expectation, fleeting motivation, and the illusions of convenience. Most people are chasing an idea of success, a projection of what the world has told them it should be, rather than the lived, disciplined, and internal mastery that true success demands. And because of this, most people never succeed. This is not a judgment. It is a fact observed through the patterns of human behavior, repeated across generations. Success is less about talent, opportunity, or luck than it is about consistent alignment, focus, and the conscious cultivation of one's energy and presence. Distraction is one of the first and most subtle enemies of success. The mind, by nature, is drawn toward novelty, stimulation, and comparison. Modern life amplifies this tendency. Notifications, social media, endless information, and constant comparison pull attention away from purpose. Most people never succeed because their energy is scattered, fragmented, and consumed by the irrelevant. They mistake busyness for progress, motion for achievement, and activity for growth. True mastery requires concentrated focus, the ability to direct attention toward what matters most, and the patience to persist when the reward is not immediate or visible. The mind must be trained to resist the seductive illusions of distraction, to remain centered, and to engage in deliberate, purposeful action. Fear, too, is a silent assassin of potential. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, and fear of uncertainty infiltrate decisions and erode courage. Most people never succeed because fear dominates their choices, restraining them from risk, experimentation, and growth. Success requires the cultivation of courage, the persistent willingness to step into the unknown, and the resilience to endure moments of doubt and vulnerability. The successful do not deny fear. They acknowledge it, manage it, and act despite it. Fear, when mastered, becomes a compass rather than a cage. Those who fail allow fear to dictate the boundaries of their lives, preventing them from stepping onto the path that leads to real achievement. Discipline is another pillar upon which all success rests. Most people never succeed because they underestimate the power of consistent action. Discipline is invisible, quiet, and often thankless. Yet it is the foundation of mastery. Talent without discipline is wasted. Inspiration without persistence is fleeting. The path to success is composed of countless small, deliberate actions performed day after day, often in solitude and without external recognition. The repetition of these actions shapes character, skill, and energy. Those who fail frequently seek shortcuts, avoid discomfort, or wait for motivation rather than cultivating the invisible habits that create results. Discipline is the slow, unglamorous accumulation of power that eventually manifests in outcomes that seem extraordinary only to the untrained eye. Another reason most people never succeed is their attachment to outcomes. They define success by what is visible, wealth, recognition, status, or approval. They measure their efforts by the reactions of others, and they attach their self-worth to results. True success, however, is about mastery of process, energy, and self. Outcomes are natural byproducts of alignment, discipline, and purpose. The successful focus on the cultivation of skill, the refinement of character, and the mastery of effort. Those who fail chase external validation, seek immediate rewards, and lose sight of the invisible work that ultimately generates lasting achievement. Impatience is another subtle thief of success. Most people want results quickly, without understanding that mastery is a slow, deliberate process. Success requires enduring repetition, refinement, and growth over long periods. It is the accumulation of effort over months, years, or even decades that creates outcomes. Those who lack patience abandon the path too early. Deceived by the illusion that progress should be immediate, the disciplined understand that time is an ally. They embrace the slow rhythm of practice, learning, and refinement, knowing that the visible results are only the final expression of persistent, unseen labor. Another reason is the inability to endure solitude. Success is rarely social in its inception. The work required to cultivate mastery often occurs in silence, without recognition or reward. Most people cannot endure the solitude required to refine skill, build focus, and strengthen character. They seek comfort in social approval, distraction, or external validation. The successful learn to embrace solitude, finding strength, clarity, and resilience within themselves. Solitude is the crucible in which inner power is forged. Without it, most people never reach the level of focus and self-reliance that true achievement demands. Alignment with purpose is a profound, often overlooked factor. Many pursue goals that are not truly their own, dreams inherited from others, societal expectations, or desires formed by comparison. Energy expended on misaligned goals is wasted, fragmented, and ultimately unrewarding. True success requires alignment with one's deepest purpose and authentic calling. Most people never succeed because they chase goals that do not resonate with their essence. The awakened recognize that alignment with purpose is not optional. It is essential. Every effort, every moment of energy, every sacrifice is amplified when it flows in harmony with authentic desire. Emotional mastery is another invisible pillar. Most people never succeed because their decisions are dictated by mood, frustration, impatience, or doubt. The mind is a battlefield of conflicting impulses. Without mastery, energy is wasted in reaction rather than directed toward creation. Emotional discipline allows a person to remain steady in turbulence, to act with clarity, and to harness the subtle power of patience. Those who fail surrender to emotional fluctuations, allowing the mind to control behavior instead of cultivating the internal calm necessary for sustained achievement. Discomfort is another hidden test. Success demands endurance of challenge, physical, mental, and emotional. It requires sacrifice, the willingness to forego immediate pleasure, and the resilience to persist through difficulty. Most people avoid discomfort, seeking the easy and familiar rather than the unknown and challenging. The successful, however, learn to embrace difficulty, recognizing it as the crucible through which strength, skill, and mastery are forged. Discomfort becomes a teacher, a guide, and a necessary companion on the path to greatness. Consistency, often invisible to the casual observer, is the silent engine of achievement. Most people never succeed because they lack sustained effort over time. They start with enthusiasm, then falter, distracted by fear, impatience, or the lure of novelty. Success is the sum of countless small actions performed consistently, often in the absence of recognition or immediate reward. This quiet persistence distinguishes those who achieve from those who merely aspire. The consistent act, repeated faithfully, is the invisible seed that eventually blossoms into visible mastery. Reliance on external validation is another hidden reason for failure. Most people seek acknowledgement, approval, or applause before fully committing to effort. They measure themselves against the opinions of others, allowing external judgment to dictate action. True success is independent of validation. It arises from self-mastery, internal alignment, and persistent action. Those who fail anchor their worth outside themselves. Those who succeed cultivate an internal compass, allowing action, growth, and achievement to emerge naturally from within. In summary, most people never succeed because they surrender to distraction, fear, impatience, and lack of discipline. They are attached to outcomes, unable to endure solitude, misaligned with purpose, emotionally unmastered, and resistant to discomfort. They are inconsistent and reliant on external validation. These are not obstacles imposed by life, they are patterns within the mind and energy of those who fail. Success is not an external prize, it is the result of internal mastery. The path to success is demanding, subtle, and invisible. It requires focus, courage, patience, emotional mastery, alignment with purpose, and disciplined, consistent action. Those who endure discover the unshakable power of persistence, clarity, and self-mastery. They realize that achievement is not defined by wealth, recognition, or external reward, but by the harmony of mind, body, energy, and purpose. Most people never succeed because they ignore these principles, seeking shortcuts, immediate gratification, or external validation. Those who embrace them awaken a life of mastery, resilience, and profound fulfillment, a life that reflects the quiet, unshakable power of alignment with the deepest truths of existence. Success is rarely as simple as the world portrays it. Society presents it as fame, wealth, recognition, or titles, but these are merely reflections, shadows of a deeper principle. True success emerges from mastery of energy, focus, discipline, and alignment with purpose. Most people never succeed because they misunderstand the essence of success, and they fail to cultivate the qualities that create it. They look outward, seeking results, recognition, and external markers, while neglecting the inner cultivation that underlies lasting achievement. This neglect, though subtle, becomes the reason most people never reach the heights they desire. The first obstacle lies in distraction. Life is filled with noise, notifications, social media, opinions, obligations, and entertainment that pull attention away from what is essential. Most people allow their energy to scatter, pursuing the illusions of progress rather than the substance of mastery. Focus, concentration, and deliberate effort are rare qualities. They are not born, they are cultivated through practice, repetition, and patience. Most people never succeed because their energy is fragmented, scattered across many directions without sustained, disciplined action toward one meaningful goal. The ability to concentrate, to direct energy with precision, and to resist the seductive allure of distraction is the first key to mastery. Fear is another hidden obstacle. Fear manifests in many forms. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, and fear of uncertainty. Most people allow fear to define their choices, preventing them from stepping into the unknown, taking risks, or enduring the discomfort necessary for growth. True success requires courage. A persistent, daily courage to act despite fear, to face uncertainty, and to embrace challenge. The successful understand that fear is natural, but it must be managed, not avoided. Those who fail are paralyzed by it, allowing hesitation to limit the expression of their potential. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Most people never cultivate the discipline necessary for long-term achievement. Discipline is not glamorous, it is invisible, quiet, and persistent. It is the repetition of action, the cultivation of habits, and the consistent alignment of effort with purpose. Without discipline, talent is wasted, inspiration is fleeting, and potential remains unrealized. The successful understand that achievement is a long accumulation of consistent effort, often unnoticed, but always effective. Most people fail because they seek shortcuts, avoid discomfort, and underestimate the importance of small, repeated actions performed faithfully over time. Another reason is attachment to results. Most people define success by what can be seen: money, fame, recognition, or titles. They allow external outcomes to dictate their sense of worth and to influence their actions. True success is measured by the refinement of character, mastery of energy, and alignment of effort with purpose. Outcomes are a byproduct of discipline, focus, and consistent action, not the determinant of effort. Those who fail are attached to results and reactive to circumstances, while those who succeed focus on process, excellence, and mastery, knowing that outcomes follow naturally when the inner work is complete. Impatience is another barrier. Most people want immediate results, instant gratification, and fast recognition. Success, however, is the culmination of long-term effort, refinement, and resilience. It is slow, incremental, and often invisible until it manifests externally. Those who are impatient abandon the path too early, frustrated by the lack of immediate reward. The disciplined understand that patience is not passive, it is active endurance, a conscious alignment of effort over time, trusting that the work invested in mastery will eventually yield results. Many also fail because they cannot endure solitude. The work required for mastery is often lonely, quiet, and unrecognized. Most people seek validation, approval, or companionship in every action, distracting themselves from the solitary practice that builds skill, energy, and clarity. True success requires comfort in one's own presence, the ability to cultivate focus without external validation, and the endurance to refine one's skill and character in silence. Solitude is a crucible, and those unwilling to embrace it cannot forge the inner strength necessary for lasting achievement. Alignment with purpose is a crucial but overlooked factor. Many pursue goals that are not truly their own, inherited dreams, societal expectations, or desires shaped by comparison. Energy expended on misaligned goals is wasted, fragmented, and ultimately unrewarding. True success is born of harmony between purpose, energy, and action. Those who fail pursue paths that do not resonate with their essence. Those who succeed align all their effort with authentic desire, creating momentum that amplifies results and cultivates fulfillment. Alignment transforms work into expression, effort into art, and challenge into opportunity. Emotional mastery is another hidden pillar. Most people allow emotions to dictate actions, decisions, and persistence. Doubt, frustration, impatience, and fear interfere with clarity and energy. Success requires the ability to respond rather than react, to cultivate calm amidst turbulence, and to maintain focus under pressure. Emotional discipline is invisible, yet it is essential. Those who fail allow emotional fluctuations to erode consistency, while those who master emotion preserve their energy, focus their actions, and sustain effort over time. Discomfort is another challenge few embrace. Success demands the endurance of pain, strain, and challenge, physical, mental, and emotional. Most people retreat from discomfort, seeking comfort, ease, and familiarity instead. The successful embrace discomfort as the crucible of growth, knowing that resilience, strength, and mastery are forged in moments of struggle. Discomfort is the teacher, and avoidance is the reason most people never achieve their potential. Consistency is another invisible key. The repetition of small, disciplined actions over time builds results that may appear miraculous to the observer. Most people never achieve because they begin enthusiastically, then falter, distracted by fear, impatience, or the lure of comfort. Consistency is a quiet force that compounds over time, transforming effort into achievement, repetition into mastery, and persistence into success. Reliance on external validation is another reason many fail. Most people seek approval, acknowledgement, or applause before fully committing. They measure effort by recognition rather than by alignment with purpose. True success is independent of external judgment. It arises from internal mastery, focus, and consistent action. Those who fail tie their worth to validation, while those who succeed cultivate an internal compass and act with persistence, clarity, and alignment, regardless of acknowledgement. In summary, most people never succeed because they are distracted, fearful, impatient, undisciplined, attached to outcomes, unable to endure solitude, misaligned with purpose, emotionally reactive, uncomfortable with challenge, inconsistent, and reliant on external validation. These are not imposed by circumstance. They are patterns within the mind, energy, and habits of those who fail. Success is not external. It is the manifestation of mastery, discipline, alignment, and persistence. The path to success is demanding, subtle, and invisible. It requires focus, courage, patience, emotional mastery, alignment with purpose, and disciplined, consistent effort over long periods. Those who endure discover the power of persistence, clarity, and self-mastery. They realize that success is not defined by wealth, recognition, or fame, but by harmony of mind, body, energy, and purpose. Most people never succeed because they neglect these principles. Those who embrace them awaken a life of mastery, resilience, and fulfillment, a life that reflects the unshakable, quiet power of alignment with truth. The ultimate reason most people never succeed lies not in circumstance, luck, or external barriers, but in the subtle, invisible choices they make every day. Life does not punish anyone arbitrarily. It mirrors back the discipline, focus, courage, and energy each person cultivates. The truth is simple, yet profound. Success is not an event, an outcome, or a visible prize. It is the consequence of mastery, the mastery of one's mind, emotions, energy, and persistence. Most people never reach it because they misunderstand this fundamental principle, mistaking ambition for action, desire for discipline, and hope for preparation. The first hidden obstacle is distraction, which is far more powerful than it appears. Modern life bombards the senses constantly. Social media, opinions, entertainment, obligations, and the endless noise of others' priorities. Most people allow their attention to fragment, scattering their energy across tasks, desires, and expectations that are not their own. The mind, untrained, becomes a vessel for chaos rather than clarity. Success requires the discipline to focus on one meaningful goal, to channel energy deliberately, and to resist the seductive pull of distraction. Those who fail allow their energy to leak, believing that motion is equivalent to progress, while those who succeed cultivate concentration, patience, and deliberate alignment, allowing momentum to build quietly over time. Fear is another silent, pervasive barrier. Fear manifests in countless ways. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, and fear of uncertainty. Most people surrender to fear, letting it determine decisions and limit action. The courageous, however, learn that fear is not an enemy to be destroyed, but a signal to be acknowledged, managed, and transcended. Success requires persistent action despite fear, stepping into the unknown and embracing the discomfort of growth. Those who fail remain tethered to safety, while those who succeed cultivate resilience, turning fear into fuel and hesitation into decisive action. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the deliberate mastery of it. Discipline is another invisible foundation of success. Most people underestimate its importance. Discipline is quiet, unglamorous, and relentless. It is the repetition of effort, the cultivation of habits, and the adherence to practice even when inspiration fades. Without discipline, talent remains latent, ideas remain unrealized, and potential goes untapped. True achievement is an accumulation of small, consistent actions performed with integrity over time. Those who fail seek shortcuts, avoid discomfort, and overestimate the power of fleeting motivation. Those who succeed understand that mastery is a long game, built incrementally through invisible labor that eventually manifests as extraordinary results. Attachment to outcomes is a subtle, destructive force. Most people define success by what is visible: wealth, recognition, or status. They measure effort by reward, and they tie self-worth to external validation. True success, however, is not outcome-dependent, it is process-dependent. Outcomes are a natural byproduct of disciplined, purposeful action. The successful focus on cultivating mastery, refining skill, and aligning effort with purpose. They understand that results follow naturally, and attachment to them only clouds judgment, energy, and persistence. Those who fail chase validation and become slaves to circumstance, while the awakened cultivate internal standards, aligning each step with integrity rather than expectation. Impatience is another subtle thief of progress. Most people expect immediate results, instant gratification, and fast recognition. Success, however, is the slow accumulation of skill, knowledge, and energy over time. It is incremental, often invisible, and rarely celebrated until maturity manifests results. Those who are impatient abandon the path too soon. Frustrated by the absence of immediate feedback, the disciplined understand that patience is not passive. It is active endurance, the ability to sustain effort in silence, trusting that the work invested today will bear fruit tomorrow. Time, when harnessed consciously, becomes a powerful ally rather than an enemy. Many people fail because they cannot endure solitude. The early stages of mastery are often lonely, quiet, and unacknowledged. Most seek companionship, validation, or approval, distracting themselves from the deep work of refinement. True success requires comfort in solitude, the ability to focus, reflect, and refine skill without external applause. Solitude is a crucible where strength, patience, and clarity are forged. Those who avoid it remain dependent on others' energy and validation, while those who embrace it discover self-reliance and inner authority. The foundation of all achievement, misalignment with purpose, is another hidden barrier. Many pursue goals that are not authentic, chasing desires shaped by comparison, societal expectation, or inherited ambition. Energy expended on misaligned goals is wasted and fragmented. True success requires alignment with authentic calling, where effort flows effortlessly, choices resonate with values, and perseverance is fueled by inner clarity. Those who fail pursue paths that do not reflect their essence, while those who succeed harness alignment to amplify results, transforming struggle into fulfillment. Purpose is the invisible compass that directs energy with precision and resilience. Emotional mastery is another critical component of success. Most people allow moods, doubt, and frustration to dictate their choices. The mind, untrained, becomes a battlefield, and energy is wasted on reaction rather than directed action. True mastery requires emotional discipline, the ability to remain steady in turbulence, to act with clarity under pressure, and to harness subtle energy instead of dissipating it. Those who fail are driven by impulse. Those who succeed cultivate calm, patience, and clarity as tools for sustainable achievement. Emotional mastery is invisible but essential. It preserves focus, fortifies persistence, and stabilizes energy for long-term action. Discomfort is a crucible that few endure. Success demands resilience, the willingness to face physical, mental, and emotional challenge. Most retreat from difficulty, seeking comfort, convenience, and familiarity. Those who succeed embrace discomfort, recognizing it as the teacher of strength, endurance, and insight. Struggle is not an obstacle but a guide, revealing weaknesses, clarifying priorities, and refining skill. Comfort may feel safe, but it breeds stagnation. Mastery is forged in adversity, and endurance through challenge is a hallmark of those who achieve what others never will. Consistency is another invisible yet powerful force. Most people begin with enthusiasm but falter, distracted by fear, impatience, or novelty. The accumulation of small, disciplined actions over time is what produces results that appear extraordinary only to the casual observer. Success is rarely dramatic. It is quiet, incremental, and persistent. Those who fail are inconsistent, abandoning effort. When inspiration wanes, those who succeed understand that excellence is a long-term commitment, an invisible thread woven day by day, moment by moment, into mastery. Reliance on external validation is yet another subtle trap. Most people tie their worth to approval, recognition, or social acknowledgement. They act in response to opinion rather than alignment with purpose. True success arises from internal mastery, self-reliance, and the quiet alignment of effort with authentic desire. External validation is a distraction. Internal alignment is empowerment. Those who fail anchor their energy outside themselves. Those who succeed cultivate inner authority, letting action and persistence define achievement rather than applause. In essence, most people never succeed because they surrender to distraction, fear, impatience, lack of discipline, attachment to outcomes, avoidance of solitude, misalignment with purpose, emotional reactivity, resistance to discomfort, inconsistency, and dependence on external validation. These patterns are subtle yet persistent. They are not imposed by life. They arise naturally in the mind, energy, and habits of those who fail. Success is not external. It is the manifestation of internal mastery, persistent effort, alignment, and resilience. The path to success is demanding, quiet, and invisible. It requires courage, patience, emotional mastery, discipline, alignment with purpose, focus, and consistent effort over long periods. Those who endure discover the subtle power of persistence, clarity, and internal authority. Achievement is not defined by wealth, recognition, or fame. It is defined by the harmony of mind, energy, action, and purpose. Most people never succeed because they neglect these invisible principles, seeking shortcuts, comfort, or validation. Those who embrace them awaken a life of mastery, resilience, and fulfillment, a life that reflects the unshakable, quiet power of alignment with truth, discipline, and purpose. In the end, success is not something to be earned from the outside. It is something to be cultivated from within. Through mastery, patience, clarity, and persistence, those who fail look outward. Those who succeed cultivate inward. Most people never succeed because they chase illusions, avoid discipline, and resist the invisible work of self-mastery. Those who succeed endure, refine, and align, discovering that true achievement is not measured by what is visible, but by the unshakable strength, wisdom and clarity cultivated within the soul.